Hello, hello, can you hear me? Hello? Relatively. I don't know where the mic is on this damn thing. Seems like it's somewhere in this area. Hope I can do this before my brother gets home. I want to do a live feed with you guys while I draw, because I'm kind of having a little bit of a freak out. You all know that my capstone is coming up, most of you. At least one person, I hope. If not, that's okay. Hello. I'm just starting to feel a little down again, and I hate feeling like this, but this is the only thing I can think of to talk to anybody when no one else is around. And I know I have friends, I know there's people there that sort of care for me, but what I'm feeling, I don't think any of them would understand in the very least. No offense. Again, like I said, most of you hopefully know that I'm a art student, college, senior, and I have my capstone coming up. It's literally a week and 3 days away. And I still got the 6 paintings done. I should have 12 or at least 11 done by now. And I feel like I'm fucking up and it's going to be all my fault. So in other words, I'm under a lot of pressure, stress, peer pressure, mental confidence, I guess, and just trying to figure this all out because it just kind of happened again today where I was promised or at least suggested that they would help me, my family would help me with something shortly after they came back from Bismarck from my stupid sister coming to visit Minot for the weekend. And then all of a sudden, nobody shows up. And I don't like reminding people about stuff that they promised me because I always feel like I shouldn't have to. You know, if I told you once, I told you twice, we talked about it many times, there should be no reason that I should ever remind you. That's why I always get so frustrated when my brothers, my cousins, or anyone that I'm kind of nearby says, oh, remind me about this, remind me about that, remind me that wake me up at 6 or 9. And I was like, you have a phone, you have an alarm clock, you have a drinking problem, or you don't learn to train your mind to get up ahead. I've always thought that would be better than nothing. And right now I feel really frustrated because I'm in a situation now where I want to go to the school, get all my paintings, all my painting materials, and my paintings, and bring them over here and just go finish painting them in the garage. I feel like I can paint them all twice as fast. And hopefully they'll be done by the end of this week, by the end of next week. And then I'll have 3 days to prepare. And I still got to make the posters, the postcards, and some business cards. And I also got to check the damage of my other sketchbooks. You know me, mostly, hopefully some of you know, with most artists like me, we have multiple sketchbooks, some that are not finished, some that we just used in high school or college art classes. I have multiple. Of course, a lot of them are my personal work as I've been growing over the years. But I put them in a really odd gray tub. It kind of opens like this, but it kind of snuggles together like a puzzle piece. But on the bottom, it's literally like a crate because the bottom's not exactly closed. All the bottoms X's over each other, so there's diamond-shaped holes. But I figured since it was in the garage, whenever it rained, which of course it does quite a bit in these Midwestern towns like Minot, North Dakota, it's going to rain a lot. So I figured if it's in the garage, it'll be safe from wear and tear, and I won't have to worry about the sketchbooks. But the last time I looked in there, a good chunk of those sketchbooks were ruined. And I know, as well as my aunt knows, if there's mold on those sketchbooks, then those are going to have to be thrown away. And this tore a big fucking dagger through my chest because A lot of those artworks are from high school. They're from the beginning of college, where my measly little amateur artwork began, and it really sucks that I would have to throw them away. And I also feel a sense of anger because why would it get soaked like that? I mean, the only thing of that it would be soaked is because someone spilled something on it and it kind of slipped through the cracks and I was not told about it and they didn't clean up, or somehow it got leaked before it was put in the garage and it just soaked and absorbed and got molded over the weeks and months that it's been in that garage. I'm not going to tear up this time. So I'm really frustrated about that because for the capstone, with it being in the Minot Public Library, I wanted to have a sign-up sheet with that little sculpture that you guys seen that I made out of clay. And then I want to have another table full of all my sketchbooks so people can see how I've grown, so they can actually see where some of my creativity come from, my sense of style and how I draw, and also maybe to sell some copies, because in my last art show thing that I kind of had, I had a big huge table and I was trying to sell some bigger pieces than ones like these. But of course, the last time my aunt decided to make a bunch of copies of favorite pieces of mine and sell them for colored or black and white, glossy or not glossy. And I only sold maybe about 2 or 3, which was a little disappointing. I sold some bracelets, the stretchy bracelets that I make, for like $2 a piece. And no one even looked at my paintings, which frustrated me even more because of my anxiety. I felt shortly after that, maybe my pieces aren't cool enough, they're not pretty enough, they're not art, no one will want them. My artwork is not even worthy of anyone's time, so they never get bought. So they're just going to rot up in some attic or leaking garage and just rot away, and then I'll just have nothing at all to show for any of the experience or the memories or the hard work I put into them. So that's just the pessimistic part of me, I guess. But also last night, after spending some time in Velva Park and Pool, I relatively got a decent tan on me. But we went to my aunt's house to have a barbecue, which I'm all for homemade cooked meals. I prefer those and going out to eat or ordering something. I prefer that just because it feels like the small sense of family that I'll never have again. Reasons why I feel that way, maybe for another video another time. Anyway, we started talking, my aunt and my cousin and me, and of course, cousin's stupid boyfriend James had to be right there. But thankfully he didn't pick up on anything. We started talking all of a sudden about my writing, and she said, you know about all those stories that you post on Facebook? And I was like, oh fuck, she's talking about my MLP fanfics. Because, I know as much as parents say, I'm your #1 fan. It's beautiful work anyway. It's amazing. It's so cool the way you did that. It's colorful, unique, and creative, and all that bullshit. And half of the times I never believe that bullshit nonsense anyway. Half the time, just because I'm that pessimistic and hard on myself on that. And I was like, yeah, what are you talking about? And she's like, have you ever thought about publishing them, getting a hold of some publishers and having submitted to like a book and then, selling them? And I was like, I wasn't quite sure what she was talking about, but I think she meant my MLP fanfics. I think, yeah, pretty much those. And probably all the others. And I think she also mentioned my poetry too, and drawings like these. But for some reason she said how, the figure is really nice, it's highly detailed and all the information they give, but there's no background to it. It's really confusing, what are they standing on? Is it air? I can't see where they're at. I can't figure out anything. And that's usually one of the main elements in any artwork, whether it's on paper, digital, or on a canvas or anything, is usually it makes so much more sense when it has a background. It has a sense of space. It has a sense of unity and balance. And with this white space that I always seem to do in my artwork, it makes it really confusing for the viewers to figure out what's happening, who is this person, where do they live, are they just floating, are they dying, or just a bunch of other random ass questions. And I think I got a little irritated because it felt like my work was being challenged, and I don't know if it's just because I'm a perfectionist or because I'm such an introvert and I've been hiding for the past 28, 29 years of my life with my work, and I'm very protective of it because it's all I have besides my writings, and my drawings are all that I have of me, and they're literally the only things that keep me sane, that keep me from breaking down worse than I've seen my friends do and my family members and people on social media. And when I feel like people are criticizing them, hating on them, questioning them the way I mean, I don't think she meant it, but I think it's just a simple suggestion, and I felt like my world is being intruded upon, and I didn't like it. But she was making a good point. But she doesn't realize that that's how my artwork began, was on a blank space. And I've learned personally from professors and people who actually know what the hell they're talking about, unlike her, that sometimes there's nothing wrong with the white space. That means they're kind of floating there in kind of a spiritual, divine, cosmic way, and it looks cool. Sometimes if you add a background to it, like buildings, a street, or some kind of rock, then it'll just add too much detail, be really confusing, and just ruin the whole picture. I most likely go for the latter. I hardly ever add an actual background unless I'm really feeling it. It all depends on my feelings. But, and then she mentioned the same thing with the publishers for this. You know, you could totally do this and everything. And it just sent my mind a reeling through the rest of the night until I came home and passed out. I'm really not that confident in myself. I'm literally that hard on myself because I've never gotten any comments from anyone that I felt like really understood or connected with my artwork. I don't make this stuff, these kind of creatures, or how these closed-minded other hard workers call them. They call them anime and cartoon characters. But I feel very honored when they call them anime characters on some cases, because that's what inspired me also, is because I wanted to create a world for my head and the really rough days that I feel, or when my anxiety is just driving me crazy, or my family hurt me verbally, or when I feel very lonely or angry, I can turn to artwork and it relaxes me. It brings me back to earth, or sometimes take me away from earth, and that's a sense of freedom and self-expression that I love so much, a lot more than myself sometimes. I admit that with a heavy heart. I never really thought that my work could be that strong or that worthy to be published or sold or anything. A lot of times, specifically with those paintings and a lot of my fan work, I think in the back of my head, I wanted other people who felt the same, other people who were a fan of the stuff I drew, wanted to like buy them or ask me to draw more, just to, I guess, get noticed, because I've spent 29 years of being invisible on this earth. of being an emotional wreck almost 24 hours of the day, hiding it from my family because they never understood. And whenever my walls slipped or the really sensitive me became vulnerable, naked, and afraid, actually afraid, they turned it away, ignored it, or just didn't even bother to look my way. So I felt even more alone, like I was cast away in a drift, in a storm, and they didn't even bother to care to talk to me or reach out to me. So that really hurt. I'm trying not to be emotional with this. It just took me by surprise. I'm pretty sure it was just the alcohol that she was drinking. And I don't like it when my family drinks unless it's for a happy thing, like someone getting hired or a promotion or their first date or just something good. Then yes, go ahead and celebrate. Drink for a few hours, but then don't drink too much. And then this is why I don't drink a whole lot, and this is why I kind of quit even bothering to try and push that far, is because I've always seen my family drink so much out of pain, out of stress, and out of misery, and just literally swallow and choke down their own feelings. It's always really hard to watch, and I never want to see it, but yet half the time I'm always around them. It's the same thing with my brother when he comes home late at night, early in the morning because he works hard. It's nearly like what feels like 3 to 4 times a week. He'll waste his money on 12-pack, 24-pack, or 60-pack of beer, and he'll drink both of them, or nearly all of them, and he'll leave a whole mess for me to clean up in the morning because half of the time he never cleans it up anyway. And I still think a good chunk of that is because of his love problems, and hopefully some of you know with most guys that are that strong-willed and hard-headed, they will never open up about their feelings because it's not manly and all that bullshit. So then I don't feel, again, like I've said in previous videos and everything, I've never felt confident enough to even open up to them about anything because they don't do the same back. There's nothing wrong with communication or heart-to-heart talks. But if I don't see any sign that it's okay to do it, then I won't bother, and that will just mean bad things for me because I'll be more in the dark, and they just don't seem like they care. So this is at times why I like the color black. This is at times where I really like horror stuff, the Angel of Death, and really scary things that horrify, disturb, and make people question their very life, is because of all the horrible stuff I have to deal with on a daily basis. Granted, I know I'm not the only one who feels this. There's other people out there with their own problems. But I'm not talking about the world. I'm not talking about everyone else. I'm here to vent and talk about this because I believe it'll help me. And it has helped me. And I'm really grateful to YouTube for that. And if I can't do daily vlogs or anything else like that, this will be a good start. God, I hate fucking crying. I feel like it's horrible, weak, and it feels like you're just leaving an open window to everything. Every single fucking thing in the world. From the tiniest atom to fucking rainstorms. And that's not good. Anyway, that's what I felt for the past couple of hours. It's still in my head. But today I did not, nothing happened, so I'm trying to think about who may be on my friends list within the area that might have a decent sized vehicle that can help give me a ride to the school tomorrow so I can grab paintings. I know I have one huge one, two of them, that probably won't fit in the inside of the car. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I just want to get everything here into the garage so I can start. I don't like waiting for them to answer me. And every time I've thought about asking them, hey, what's up? What happened this morning? Because you never showed up. I just have a foreboding that they would say something nasty back, get impatient and yell at me, which I cannot handle yelling, as most of you all know. Or they would just not even answer, and then I, again, would be left in the dark, and that really sucks. It really sucks. I don't know if any of you out there that are watching this, either right now or sometime in the future, have gone through stuff like this. I know I'm usually a pretty strong person. I'm an asshole or a pervert or a dork. I don't care what fucking name you give me. It's these sides of me that I don't know how to say this. I don't think the world needs to know those sides of me, or a lot of people that I know, because I feel like it's in my heart that they won't understand. And maybe it's because I don't let them, or because they just aren't ready to see it. So right now I'm just going to try to think of that. Maybe set up another appointment with my therapist. I'm kind of going to have to kick out the possibility of a job right now. I don't like it when I'm left to think with a lot of heavy stuff like that. It just makes leave me wondering. I haven't felt a whole lot of connection with a whole lot of my friends lately because of all the stuff I've been dealing with. Because I know a lot of them deal with identity, depression, suicide, and their fucking families, which I relate to in every possible way. But I don't want to hurt them and I don't want to scare them. So I just step out of the way because I know at times I feel like I only make it worse. And nothing hurts me more than being a problem to people. So I'm gonna listen to some dark music right now just so I can get this drawing done. Try to get my mind back on track despite what my family has been doing to me lately. At times things go right, nice and smoothly, relatively. But at times it's so chaotic, it's more troublesome for me than they care to even realize. So, yay. I'm so fucking happy right now. 6:47, I'm not hungry right now. I kind of just been munching on crackers all day. I'm probably gonna have to see if I can make myself a warm breakfast tomorrow just to cheer myself up. No RPs right now. I just can't handle anything else right now. I'm sorry to people that are watching this. I just can't do it anymore. Or not right now. I need to focus on myself. I love you guys so much. If you guys gone through something like this, whether it's with family, yourself, or your identity, just leave a comment below. I'd be happy to read some stories. All right. Thank you guys for listening. It's really helpful to me. I love you guys. Bye.